welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update, and daily news report. Now, here's what we need to go over today. Last night, the CDC, their federal eviction moratorium has officially been ended by the Supreme Court. Hit that like button, it really does help out the channel. Also, consider subscribing. Let's get into the update for today. Last night, the Supreme Court blocked the CDC eviction moratorium. They stated that if a federally imposed eviction moratorium is to continue, then Congress must specifically authorize it. However, Congress is away on recess, so they will not be doing that anytime soon. And this is not the first time that the Supreme Court has said this. They've said it multiple times in the past. However, even President Biden himself, he knew and he stated specifically that the eviction moratorium wouldn't stick, but his hope was just to buy time, allow renters a little bit more time to stay in their homes, and this would hopefully allow states to get their rent out to the American people. Right now, there's about $47 billion that was allocated to rental assistance. However, only $5.2 billion has actually gone out. So about 11% of the money has gone out, and that is not much. This is one of the reasons why yesterday the Treasury Department changed their rules in order to get the money out faster, where you can actually self-certify on your documents. And so that is supposed to help things, ramp up and speed up a little bit. However, with the Supreme Court announcing yesterday that they're ruling in favor of landlords and the realtors associations, this is not looking good for renters and tenants. So one thing I just want you to understand though, right now, according to multiple reports, is that we are already seeing a surge in new eviction filings just this morning. This happened last night, and just this morning, we're seeing new filings. But keep in mind, landlords can only accept this rental assistance funding from the U.S. government if they do not evict their tenant. The tenant has to be in the property in order for them to legally accept the funds. So that's going to create a little bit of a dilemma for landlords moving forward, because they have to decide, do I evict the tenant or do I continue to hold out and wait and hope that the money will eventually show up? Again, the way this money is supposed to be allocated is you will get 12 months of back rent that you haven't paid to your landlord. You'll get up to 12 months of back rent and 3 months moving forward. So total of 15 months. That's a lot. That's a lot. And so if landlords decide they are just going to evict the tenant and they're not going to get any part of that previous up to 12 months worth of rent, it's on them. But this is something that we will see if we do see more evictions. As of right now, the reports are indicating, yes, we're going to see a massive amount of evictions, and this is exactly what experts have been predicting for months. So we will see what happens, but as of right now, this is one of the reasons why lawmakers say that they need to get back to Washington. They need to extend the eviction moratorium. They need to extend the unemployment benefits, and they need to do it in this next infrastructure bill. Okay, well, here's what you need to understand about this. Again, lawmakers want to do a lot. They want to do a lot, but they have very little, and they do not have the majority, especially when it comes to Democrats. Now, the Republicans, they don't have the majority anywhere. But Democrats, they don't have a large enough majority in order to pass just overwhelming legislation. They just don't. They have a 50-50 split in the Senate, and they have, I think, a 7-seat advantage in the House. So things are very, very tight. But at this time, right now, many reports indicate that Republicans, President Biden himself, and moderates believe that ending the unemployment benefits at this time on September 6th is the right move. They also believe that the eviction moratorium was supposed to at least last until the 1st of October. However, it didn't even last until the 1st of September. Again, the CDC put this in place on August 3rd. It was supposed to expire on October 3rd. However, yesterday when the Supreme Court ruled on this, it was August 26th, 23 days later. So again, things are not looking great, and they're not looking like they're falling President Biden's way. But here's something else President Biden has said. He has said states can take it upon themselves to provide more unemployment benefits. They can actually extend this federal eviction or this federal unemployment benefit, this boost of $300 per week. Plus, they can give state benefits to gig workers and the self-employed and extend the long-term unemployment benefits. They can do it all themselves. However, states are still waiting on guidance for that. But again, all these discussions on are we going to see more unemployment benefits? The answer as of right now is no. There is no state that has actually come forward as of yet. And again, President Biden said this last week, that states could do this. But no state has come forward yet and said, yes, we will extend our unemployment benefits. No state. So we got no more unemployment benefits after September 6th. And on top of that, we know as of right now, there's no more eviction moratorium on the federal level. However, states, they can still impose these restrictions that you cannot evict a tenant. Okay, so just keep that in mind. States and counties can do this, but on the federal level, it is not going to be put in place. Right now, from a federal standpoint, there's no unemployment benefits. There's no eviction moratorium. Okay, these are two big issues. And what we've heard from experts in the past is if we do not have unemployment benefits extended, if we do not see an eviction moratorium, chances are more lawmakers are going to push for additional assistance to the American people. And this would be in the form of a direct payment, like a stimulus check. Well, that's exactly what we're seeing. Many lawmakers say they need to get back to Washington so that they can enact new legislation to provide for the American people. And even though President Biden is somewhat quiet on this front, some are saying that he needs to be more vocal and he needs to stand up for what he believes the American people need. And that is more money in their pocket to pay their rent, to pay for food, keep food on the table, keep a roof over their head, pay for essentials, medication, just any everyday product. That is what he needs to be fighting for. However, he isn't. But here's where things really take a turn. Congress, as of right now, they want to, and this is mainly Democrats, they want to pass this next infrastructure bill by October 1st. They want to negotiate this bill. They want to have the House committees done, send in and submit their legislation or their portion of the legislation by September 15th. The House will come back to Washington on September 23rd. Okay? Well, this is great. I think September 30th or September 20th, somewhere right around there. Okay, I get my dates mixed up. Let me look really quick. But the key here, okay, they'll be back on September 20th. The key here, and this is where things really take a turn, is that right now, the House is not expected to come back for almost a month. The Senate will be back in 2 weeks. And from there, they'll be looking at voting. The Senate still has other things to do. They have other pieces of business that they have to take care of. But what you need to keep in mind is that they're all talking, Democrats, Republicans, whoever, they're all talking about let's provide more to the American people. Let's get back to talking about infrastructure, pure infrastructure. But at the same time, there's not even a plan for a vote for almost a month. So even though we are seeing talks of, yes, we could potentially see an additional stimulus check, a larger earned income tax credit, an extension of the child tax credit payments, which is good, but at the same time, that won't even kick in until January. So right now, some of the pieces of legislation that are being talked about won't even happen for a little while. But this is where the real problem is, that Democrats, they want to spend that $3.5 trillion. That's what they want to spend. Some want to spend less, some want more. But Democratic leadership is going to be tasked with finding a compromise between what moderates want and the progressives want. And that's where things could be troubling. But right now, all it takes is 4 House Democratic members to just oppose this bill, and the bill's dead. It takes just 1 senator. That's where things get tricky. But at this time, this is why some lawmakers are saying that we're fighting for the wrong legislation. Many say that we need to address the shortcomings of the economy, income, and jobs, and the surging. That's what we need to be addressing. We need another stimulus package. We don't need to worry about infrastructure at this time. But they say that infrastructure is important, but there are more pressing issues at this time. And again, let's go back a year when we were learning about okay, we need to get the unemployment benefits extended. That was the most pressing issue. It was not a stimulus check. A stimulus check was important, helped millions of people. However, the most pressing issue was the unemployment benefits. Let's get back to talking about extending those $600 per week unemployment benefits, that federal boost. That was huge and it helped millions of people. However, that was just part of the discussions. Then others said, no, we need to talk about the entire picture. We need to extend the eviction moratorium. We need to bring in another stimulus check. We need more funding for state and local governments. We need consumer protections, right? We need business protections. That's what Mitch McConnell wanted. But yet, the most pressing issue was not the protections for the business and consumers, and it wasn't state and local government funding at that time. This was back in September, August and September of last year. Okay? But that wasn't the pressing issue. The pressing issue was unemployment, evictions, right? Stimulus checks, provide more to the American people. That was the pressing issue. And so that was eventually what passed. But just keep that in mind. It's the pressing issues at this time. And some experts are saying that we are going to see what happens around the middle of September. This is exactly when the Senate and House do come back. But they say we do have enough people that are supportive of a stimulus check that it should be in the next package. Many say it's going to be a $2,000 stimulus check. It will not be a monthly recurring check. It would be a one-time payment. But we will have to wait and see what lawmakers propose. But again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.